Hello, my friends, and welcome to my update. For the near damn end of May, right now, what I'm looking at is May 24th, which I hope most of you are enjoying your Memorial Day weekend. I've been keeping myself busy, doing what I usually do during the holidays, which is cook. But I made over, well, yesterday, was or rather, should I say, what I started Friday, I ended up doing today. So what I did was I cooked barbecue ribs and sausages with stir fried vegetables. Of course, I'm mixing the stir fry with the sausages just because, a little something something on top of what I already made doesn't hurt. It doesn't mind shaking up the things a bit, so there you go. You're gonna have to excuse me because I've been doing a lot of recording as of late. So I'm a bit kind of dry as we speak. Lately, I have been keeping busy because of agency work, and on top of that, doing, Let's Plays. For the most part, I've been doing a lot of, a lot as far as completion is concerned. So I'm taking a short break. As you can tell, my voice is a bit hoarse. So actually, what I got for next month and from then on till say September, since because of COVID, a lot of things have been shut down in my area, mainly like restaurants and even the annual convention I go to. Since we're all in this lockdown together of sorts, well, it sort of put a damper on a lot of things that's going on, and Anime Expo happens to be one of them. The good thing is that they gave us a choice whether we want to let the ticket roll over to next year or just get a refund. I chose roll over. I mean, it doesn't make sense for me to actually let the whole thing just be in there for next year, since usually during the time of, say, June or July, between the two, we have either Anime Expo or Comic Con. And between the time of summer during the start of fall, that's when those two areas those two events, I should say, those two events coexist because one is in July or one is in, say, September or October. So that's how close they are. The only time I actually do manage to do something like that, I usually like to say, give myself 3 days, enjoy myself, and take a break from what I'm doing for a while. And then I come back fresh and, ready to go for the next part of the season. So this time around, like I said, as the channel feature, the summer channel feature, Kamikame, is usually the case, I decide to do from June to September, because by then I would already get into October. I would have October stuff ready and whatnot. And since I didn't do anything for November or December from last year because I took a break, I'm going to do it for this year. I don't know what it is. Probably something on the PS4. I'm not entirely certain. But it's something. Speaking of PS4, I have been mainly busy between being on here and the PS4. And there are only two, maybe three Let's Plays I'm still working on. Or rather, two Let's Plays I'm still working on, and one I already have ready to go when I'll probably start posting that when June comes rolling in. Now, the funny thing is, about what I have in backlog, I have 3 games in backlog for PS4. And I do have a backup drive to use if I really want to take it off the main hard drive and put it on the backup. For one, is based off a 3DS game I actually have, and it actually is it's okay for a One Piece game. It's supposedly like a Muso game, but it doesn't have the Muso feeling involved. So what I have in backlog is One Piece Unlimited World Red for the PS4. And like I said, it's based off the 3DS game. And it's also on Steam. So go check that out for yourself. Like I said, it plays well, except for one thing. The cutscenes are cut off. So you're not going to have cutscenes, but I will tell you ahead of time what the story is, or at least what the cutscene was about. So another game that I should have had is also a One Piece game, and I did indeed pre-order it in March. I had it ready before March though, but I already pre-ordered it, but I never got it because GameStop got closed down during this pandemic. So I actually got a digital copy of One Piece Pirate Warriors 4. Since this way, for those who actually follow the series or have ever wondered about the series, for someone like me, I like to basically follow the series and know the series without having to watch through a long ass slog of 900 some odd episodes. From what I've read on Twitter, they're around 980. So 980. That's where they are in One Piece. And they're still in the Wano Kuni arc. Yeah. That's where it is. Wano Kuni. Wano Kingdom. And as most of you who follow One Piece, I'm going to say this right now. I enjoy it more than Dragon Ball. Really, I do. I enjoy One Piece more than Dragon Ball. The thing is, I have seen a bit of One Piece, but I refuse to watch all of One Piece just to say, oh, I know what the story's about. Because really and truly, I don't need to really see the anime if there's a retelling of the story in Cliff Notes version. That's all I need. I need for something like One Piece or Bleach or any ongoing anime that's basically over the limit, which is like over 500 episodes long plus ongoing or whatever. I don't need something like that. Just give me something Cliff Notes version, the simple version. Give me cutscene and story. I'll follow along. I'll go along with it. Because as far as I remember, the only time I've actually watched One Piece was during the Ines Lobby arc, and that's where I am currently, as far as the recording session is concerned. By the time next month would get in, I should have at least 2 or 3 titles finished so far. So if I hadn't shared it with you, what I have so far are the following. Completed, I should add. I have a PSP game, fan translated, one being called A Certain Magical Index, in which Funimation is doing part of it called A Certain Scientific Railgun T. Another one I'm doing is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Another I have in backlog that I still haven't completed yet because projects and streams and everything else. Everybody want my time except me. I want my time. Well, a let's play of Sailor Moon: Another Story. So yeah, that's going to be a long one. Or a short one, depending on how fast I can actually do the game. It has an updated translation patch, so that's what I'm going with. On top of that, I also have in backlog Nadia of the Mysterious Seas, aka Nadia the Secret of Blue Water, which is also fan translated. Now, the version I have that I'm currently doing is for the Sega Genesis or the Mega Drive. Basically, it's more puzzle than anything else. That's all it really is. It's just really a puzzle game, an action puzzle game. Unlike the other versions that exist out there, there being a tactical RPG on the Famicom, and I believe there are others, but there's one on, I believe, PC Engine. I'm not entirely certain, but it's probably on PC Engine. Or the Turbo CD, probably. Like I said, I'm not entirely certain. But the only ones I'm familiar with are the Famicom version and the Mega Drive version, because I have played those 2 versions. Let's see, what else do I have in backlog? Yes. I also have Ys a Lacrimosa Ardana in backlog on my PS4. Again, that is the long sought game I've always wanted to have, because I played Ys on my channel for quite a good while. From Ys 1 and 2 on the DS, 3 Classic, 4 Classic, 5 Classic, 6 Classic, E7 on the Steam version, and Origin the Steam version. And I've said this on my video prior to this, but I'm stating it here. After 8, until we get 9 and 10, that's going to be the last Ys game I'm going to do on the channel. Now, that doesn't mean it's the end of the series. I'm simply going to wait until 9 and 10 get ported. Then eventually I'll do those two games. And then whatever Falcom plans to do after that, well, that will decide what I'm going to do in that direction. But I also mentioned this on my Twitter, as well as on my Facebook page, that there are some other series I wish to tackle. Because I have played them, but I've never done a Let's Play on them. And I do have the following that I want to share. Namely, one is Star Ocean. Now, my first brush with Star Ocean happens to be with the PS2, starting with Till the End of Time. I've never played Star Ocean before from the very beginning. Although I do have the classic version, which is the Super Famicom version, fan translated, and I also have the later version, which also became a port to PS4, which is called Star Ocean First Departure, R. So therefore, I'm not doing the PS4 version because it's just the same thing as the PSP version. So I am going to do the PSP version over the Super Famicom version because it seems a lot better. The same goes for its sequel, and then we work up to, say, Star Ocean IF, Integrity and Faithlessness, I think. Faithfulness or faithlessness. I think it's faithfulness. Integrity and Faithfulness. I'm going to call it that. And like I said, I believe there are 5 games. There are 6, but the 6th is on mobile, so we don't count the 6th. But only the main 5 will I do on the channel. Don't know, and will not say how long that will take, but I'm pretty sure that when it comes down to it, I will get it done eventually. Another series that I want to tackle, I've never played this before, Xanadu, which is another Falcom game, which was which had help with Hudson Soft, which now they're working for Konami. So at this rate, would they still be called Hudson Soft if they're under the banner of Konami? I'd say I'd still call them Hudson Soft. Because I also have a Bomberman game that is still technically a Hudson series. So it makes sense. So like I said, there's Xanadu, and from what I know, there are only 3 Xanadu games that I know exist. That's Fa Xanadu or Famicom Xanadu. Next, which is on Steam PC, and Tokyo Xanadu. And again, just like with the previous one, I don't know how long that takes, but I plan to tackle it. Another series I plan to get the jump on, and you've seen me done it once, but I haven't done it since then, is Kingdom Hearts. And since I have the entirety of Kingdom Hearts at my disposal on PS4 again, the PS4 is definitely going to get some love. So we got all of the Kingdom Hearts games from one Final Mix. I might consider doing Final Mix just because there's a difference between Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Same with Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. So I have all the Kingdom Hearts games, and yeah, that means Chain of Memories. Um, Let me pull this out real quick because it's right there in front of me, and I'm looking at it because it is what it is. I'm pulling this out right now. Okay, so we got all the Kingdom Hearts games known as, yeah, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, Chain of Memories, 358 over 2 days, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Birth by Sleep Final Mix, Recoded, 3D, otherwise known as Dream Drop Distance, Birth by Sleep, and Back Cover. And this thing carries like a whopping 80 gigs. Yeah, that's gonna take a while, let me tell you. I mean, 80 gigs, come on. The only way I would do that is like, it's gonna take a while because I'm looking in on this. Oh God, I'm looking on this. Because it's basically all the games, which is called 1.5 or 2.5, and they're on 2 discs. Not sure if I put it in, but I think I'm not gonna worry about it. I mean, it's Square Enix after all. So, for those who were wondering, it's called the story so far. That means all the games, all 9 games are in here on 2 discs. And there's a funny story behind that because really, I had to go through various amounts of twists and turns in order to get the actual games. Because I did have the version previous to that. It was still 1.5 and 2.5 as they're called, but it had a lot of But again, it was seen being like a separate disc by itself or something like that. I don't know how it worked, but it's a strange beast. Kingdom Hearts itself is a strange beast. And I also have Kingdom Hearts 3, so that counts as 10 games. But as I stated before, I don't know when I'm going to get started on that. But I guess, 1.5 and 1.5 through 2.5 would work. And then after that would be the other one, which would take at least 4 on one disc, 5 on another disc. And trust me, I've never played all the Kingdom Hearts games. As well as I remember going to one of my bookstores, and they actually have a manga based off of 358 over 2 days. That's where I actually miss going to that store because it had so much manga. It had so much anime. It had so much cool stuff in there. It even had poetry books. And, side note, I do enjoy my poetry. As well as they had some, some self-help books in there. And it's nice for being a Japanese store because it still kept the tone of being a bookstore and still being, still had its share of anime and whatnot. But, there was an elegance to it. Kinokuniya, I believe it's called. There are some books I want to share next time, probably in some video, based off a series in which we all know, but it has strange cult following. I'll get into that in another video, like I said. Okay, another thing. Star Ocean, Xanadu, Kingdom Hearts, Tales. God, Tales has been around. And I believe if I don't do it this year, I'll most likely do it next year, which would be bring back the rest of Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Innocence, and Vesperia. Because I also have a lot of Tales games on the PS4. Well, not the PS4, but the PSP and the PS1 emulators. One such game I have on the PSP emulator would be Tales of Eternia. Now, since Tales of Eternia is a thing, it's a classic. And the current one that they're still raving about, and it was made popular last year at AX 2019, was Tales of Crestoria. That one is a mobile. They're still wowing about it, but the thing is, I kind of wonder if that's actually going to be ported over to, consoles and PCs, like PS4, Switch, Xbox One, Steam, that sort of thing. I'm kind of curious about that. I was also considering the Legend of Heroes series, but the thing is, it has such a strange fan base. And I'm not saying it as a bad thing, but it does have a strange fan base. Like, nobody has heard of the Legend of Heroes since they released Trails in the Sky, or Sora no Kiseki. And Trails of Cold Steel is out. And again, I'm going to what I have in my directory. I have one in my PSP inventory, and that is the Legend of Heroes Tear of Vermilion. So I might just go with that one and just take it from there. I do have a few other Legend of Heroes games, but there's only 2. Now, my buddies Ryu and 40, they are heavy set Legend of Heroes fans. They are heavy set, big time fans of the series since it came out. Couldn't stop talking about it. I can only shake my head and just say, okay, you geeks. I'm one too. I'm not gonna lie about that. It's just, as I said, it's just funny the way it is, because I'm actually going to do this just to save me some time and trouble as I'm looking through this on my phone, because I have Twitter on my phone. And the smart thing about it is, people will randomly like your stuff on Twitter more than they would on Facebook. You get more followers on Twitter than you would on Facebook, because Facebook, they don't give a damn who you are. Twitter, they kind of give a damn. a lot of weirdos on. I could just say this. There's a lot of weirdos on this. More weirdos than I can possibly say on Facebook. I am not lying. But anyway, I'm trying to look at my stuff, I think, but let me look at my profile. I'm actually doing it like this just because it's easier for me. Okay, Enix World Trilogy. If you don't know what that is, the Enix World Trilogy is simply put Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terranigma. That's what the Enix World Trilogy is. It didn't have a name, so I'm giving it one. The Enix World Trilogy. I already mentioned Star Ocean, Xanadu, Kingdom Hearts, and since I'm kind of doing it already, Musou. Musou, you know as well as I do, are the Warriors games. So mainly, I'm still working on Warriors of Orochi. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue the PS2 version. I might start fresh with the PSP version. I'm not entirely certain. I don't think they have much voice acting going on in the PSP version as is the PS2 version. But we'll see. And as I said, I got one already in backlog on my PS4, so that's a thing too. Another one I plan to return to after for so long will be the Shining series, because I still have Shining in the Darkness to finish. On top of that, well, you already see me do Shining Force, even though it was sadly taken down because of an ugly rumor in the past about a leak of a Shining game coming out. If I can, I do have Shining Tears for a future backlog. And another one I plan to get for PS4 will be Shining. I'm gonna call it Shining Refrain, because I have it on Steam, but it doesn't run because high end graphics. My computer does not do high end graphics. I already mentioned Tails. I already mentioned that, and Phantasy Star. Oh yes, Phantasy Star. I still need to go back to 3. If I do 2, that's definitely gonna be made with cheats, because that's the only way you can actually play the game. You have to cheat it, and cheat it I will to the utmost best of my ability. So if you don't know why 2, there's a reason why. Because the game is so hard because of its encounter rating. The encounters are just crazy. And there's no real point in just saying, oh, hey, just da 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 da. I'm going to play it. No. I'm going to play it straight up. No, you don't. That's one game that you cannot do straight up. I mean, there's also the Ages version, but they changed that too. But for me, I'll take classic. So when I put it up, whenever that is, it'll be called Phantasy Star 2 Classic. Because there's Ages version, which is the PS2 version, and then there's just old school classic. And lastly, Working Designs. Working Designs, of course, basically for those who remember a certain series that is so near and dear to our hearts, Lunar. They're the people behind Lunar. Well, I would say Game Arts. because they published Lunar, but it was Working Designs who ported it over as a publisher. As with many Working Designs games from the past, like Cosmic Fantasy, Exile, or whatever it was called, Exir. I might be wrong on that. But such titles as Lunar, Cosmic Fantasy, Exile, and Growlancer. Yes, Growlancer. And, oh, let's not forget Alundra. Those titles are forever a symbol to what we remember from Working Designs. So, I still have Vi, and I still have Powerful Mail to do. But as I can tell you, it's going to be a pain in the ass to go back to where I was on Vi, but that's where I'm putting Project Catch-Up on. I'm just going to put Project Catch-Up on that. For those who don't know what Project Catch-Up is for me, it's basically all the games that I basically either lost track of or just basically dropped them because they felt too long. Or something happened to the backup or something happened to the data in which I couldn't really recover it, so therefore I have to do it straight from scratch. Such is the case with Xenogears and Warriors Orochi. And even the game I was doing for a while that I'm still planning on going back to, Acedia the Eternal, all of them have one thing in common. I did them originally when my machine was a 7. Before the change over to 10, I basically had like tons and tons of backlog on Arc the Lad 2, Xenogears, and Warriors Orochi, as well as Celia the Eternal. So therefore, I have them ready to go, and even though they somehow sounded horrible to where they were just downright acceptable, when everything got switched over to 10, I lost them because they were considered corrupted data. Maybe because, 7 was at the end of its lifespan. So if you didn't have 10 by then, now it's time for you to get 10. And I only did it just because, oh hey, I need to update. So there you go. That's the only reason. So I figure it's best I should put in something just to say it's in backlog, or I'm working on it to where I might consider redoing it as a replay just because, just in case if I need to do it over, I will do it over. So that's what I call Project Catch-Up. For me, that's what I'm doing because I have the footage on my channel, and I can always use the footage as, say, my bookmark per se, to where, that's where I am in the game. Okay, just like that. So yeah, when I'm talking about Working Designs, I'm talking about those people. Yeah, those people who brought joy to us during the 90s to early 2000s, because they had a lot of games. They had a lot of games coming out for the PS1. Well, actually, the Turbo CD, Sega CD, PS1, PS2, and that's as far. And PSP. So yeah, Ground Lancer. That there was one on the PSP. So there you go. But I think that's all I have as far as what I plan to do. And like I said, I don't know when, but I already have one game on Project Catch Up, and that's on Theta, the Emblem of Justice. So I figure I should have a new system put in because my current system does not make sense. And what I mean by my system is organizing. You see, when I put something together, I like to organize my stuff in a way that it would make sense. So I remember back in the day, again, when I was on 7, I made a list of all the games I've beaten and all the games I plan to do, game slash series, whatever I plan to do. I typed it down. I made a printout of it and all that. I need to go back to doing that. Just to say, oh, I have this right in front of me to where it makes sense. Another thing I plan to do during this time is go back to writing my books. I hadn't done that in a long ass time. And I should not do that. I'm an author. I should not, skimp on my work. It's the same thing as being a voice actor. I should not skimp on my work. Now, even though right now I'm uncertain where I am as far as voice acting is concerned, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to nail something with it. Whatever it is, however it's done, I'm going to nail something with it. Whether it's a bit part or something mind blowing, you know I don't care. I'm ready for it. The only thing I would need to do is just rest my voice, uh, rest my voice a bit when I need to, and take care of it the best way I can. Oh man, let me just say, yeah, this is gonna be one of those kind of videos that I need to get off that I really do need to get off my chest because for quite some time I've been blah 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 blah. For the last couple of weeks, I felt, I don't know, like any word, busy, disturbed, and from a mental health standpoint, I just been through a lot. And I'm not even talking about COVID. I mean, emotionally, I've been through a lot. And I'm coming to terms with what's been happening and everything. It's to a point where I don't really talk about this to my friends because, they're going through their own issues and there's no reason for me to say, "Oh, I got issues too." No, no, you don't need to know my issues. But I don't mind sharing them. But I mean, most times that's where I go to my Weebly site, and what I do on that site is I usually state what I got planned out, what I plan to do, what I want to replay, and what I already have done and whatnot. Let me tell you, it is not easy. Because, like I said, everybody wants my time, it seems. Oh, hey, I'm streaming. Okay, nice. To where it's during a time in which I want to sleep or I want to work. I rarely have the time to do either or. Between getting the house together, starting with outside, to where getting my career going as a voice actor, or rather, getting my career as an artist to a big jump start, to where I can further advance my career and what I plan to do for the rest of my life. The only thing that bugs me a lot would be my heart. That'd be the only thing that really bugs me, my heart. And because of this pandemic going on, this sort of doesn't really put me at risk, but it does make me think, okay, I need to get whatever medication I need to take just so I can keep living, to do what I like to do. Now, as for what's going to happen, it's just going to happen, and there's no way I can stop it. And I'm not going to stop it. The only thing I'm going to do is find success the best way I can. You know, that's all I can do. As far as what I plan to do, that is another thing. I plan to do the best thing I can do, which is perform. So that means Let's Plays. That means my side projects and what I do at the agency. They're all, I put a lot of heart and soul into what I do. As it is with all artists, that's what they all do. They put their heart and their soul and everything else right there for people to see. And that's all we can do. So I feel, in the interest of fairness, that I've been working on a lot of stuff. I'm gonna kind of slow down on it, especially if I'm doing something text heavy. I'm gonna ease off on the text heavy stuff. After I'm done with Ace Attorney, the Ace Attorney trilogy, I'm gonna ease off anything further as far as Ace Attorney is concerned. Now, following the following trilogy, because I'm not gonna do that, and until I actually get myself a 3DS emulator, probably on my laptop. I'm just gonna ease off on anything text heavy. Because I can tell you, I've been so busy reading that it's like I can see that blur that's happening. Like, why did my R's sound like? Why did the R's look like T's, and why am I blabbing away like an idiot? Blabbling? Yes, blabbling. Why am I, sounding like I've lost my goddamn mind, which I haven't lost my mind, thank goodness. But yeah, I am kind of worried about myself as far as my health's concerned. As I should be, but, my main concern is, making it through the rest of this year safe and sound and intact. That's what we need to focus on. Whether you're working or you're not, the one thing we all gotta do is do what you can. And I'm going to remind you, that's what you have to do. Do what you can. Don't complain. Don't bitch. Don't whine. Do what you can. If you're getting something, be thankful you're getting something. Another thing, don't listen to social media, don't listen to the news. If they're not telling you to cheer up, if they're not a person that tells you and telling you to cheer up, turn that shit off. You don't need no more negativity that you're already handling right now. Because everybody's handling this negativity. To be away from people. Because everybody is considered a germaphobe now. So we're all quote unquote cooped up in our homes. Me, I prefer not to be. Excuse me. I prefer not to be cooped up myself. I mean, I don't mind staying here, but sometimes I gotta get out. Sometimes I gotta breathe. I have to be out. If not every day, every other day. Or maybe three days at a time or something, but goddamn, I need to get out. And of course, the most important thing, what your parents have always told you: wash your hands. And on that note, wash your ass. That's right, wash your ass. Because sometimes your hands might not be enough, and it's good to get a good soak in every now and then. Get yourself a nice good soak going, and take it from there. But otherwise, the one thing we need to practice most of all is good hygiene. Or remember that good hygiene is it. It is the thing. It should already have been a thing, but it is a thing. It is more important now than ever. So there you have it. And another thing, and the most important, is don't be afraid. Because I think the most important thing that most people aren't getting is the education about what to do in the situation. And the one thing is, don't be afraid. Do not live in fear. And I always have to point that out because there are people out there who don't know this is what's going on. And there's some people who don't know that they have to be. No, you don't have to be. The world hasn't gotten to a point in which it is badly fucked up to where we cannot go outside, to where we have to stay inside because, oh hey, we got pollution every goddamn where, to where we cannot go without having some kind of hazmat suit on or something like that, and hopefully we don't get to that point. Because I'll tell you what, I will forever be in this house going online and ordering from the store. And that will suck. Because there's sometimes I want to be out and about. I might take it easy on the store though, because I think I've done too much already as far as this weekend has gone. I mean, I went to the store Friday just to pick up some ribs and some sausage and God knows what else. And so I need to take a short break from, overdoing it on myself. But yeah, guys, that'll be it for this update of sorts. It's mainly a backlog of things to come and where we go from here. So like I said, as far as the channel, still going, don't worry. As far as the content, still going, don't worry. just gotta take it easy a bit and finish what I already got to finish, and then after that, we go from there. There's another series I want to go back to because, God, I feel terrible for not finishing. Well, not so terrible for not finishing Cyber Sleuth. But since I do love Digimon, like I said, I enjoy it more than Pocket Monsters. I plan to do the PSP version as well of Digimon Adventure, or as it was called over here, Digimon Season 1. But yeah, I plan to do Digimon Adventure as well sometime during the summer feature. As for comics, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, I actually have one that I personally will do or have done already. And if I finish off anything, I know Yakuza is going to be finished off camera because I can't, for some blade reason, they will not let you actually do the following. They will not let you record that part on the PS4. It's basically like copyright protector or some shit, but you can't really go far as like where you're going to deal with the final enemy in the final area of the game. It's strange, but that's what it is. So until I actually bypass that in some way or just show it off just because, yeah, that bit of Yakuza 0, that's going to be off camera. And the only way I'm going to have to do it over is I would have to play the game over on Premium Adventure. Same with Lost Paradise. I'm going to have to play it on Premium Adventure just so I can get up to the final area, just so I can record it. Which makes no damn sense, but it is what it is. But anyway, I have been your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi, PI7. And whatever happens after this, we're going to get through this. Believe you me, we're going to get through this. I'll see you next time for more great content. Until then, enjoy this week of seeing the last of Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations and whatever else I got planned on the channel. So, until then, take care, see you next game, and die Tinsel!